The newly introduced one-on-one tournament makes its debut for the first time all season. The All-Star weekend is upon us, and it is time to see some of the best players in the NBA going at it in a three-point contest and dunk contest, All-Star and Rising Star game, ending it off with the newly introduced Rookie 1v1 tournament. Looking at the All-Star team, there isn't any surprises as no rookies made the team, but we do have some injury replacements. Steph Curry replaces an injured Jaylen Brown for Team Giannis, and James Harden replaces an injured Darius Garland for Team Jokic. So the Suns have 3 players on the same All-Star team, while Curry pairs up with Giannis, LeBron, and Embiid. The USA squad features pretty much every single top draft pick and top performing rookie, including Ty Wallace, JT, Chet Holmgren, Amen Thompson, but surprisingly no true Richmond, as he didn't make the team, maybe because there was already 2 OKC players featured, but Richmond will end up making the team due to an injury replacement. For Team World, we have a big 4, and that's pretty much it, as it's very thin for the year for the overseas players. They are led by superstar big men Javon Ayuk and Victor Wembanyama, and also #1 pick Kyron Matthews. So even though they don't have quantity, they definitely have the quality to give them a shot. Just like you would expect the Rising Stars game, it was very high scoring and back and forth. The best Rising Stars in the entire league going at it ended up being a tight race. Whoever wins this Rising Stars MVP will likely get some added points for their Rookie of the Year race, which I will show the race for MVP, Deep Boy, and Rookie of the Year at the very end of the video. Ty Wallace and True Richmond both have a great playstyle that fit the normal, flashy, all-star highlight play culture, but it was actually one of the unknown rookies to start dominating. Darnell Patton hasn't gotten much playing time for Denver, unsurprisingly. He was a great 3-and-D prospect going to the draft and seems like Mikal Bridges type of player. But what wasn't known was his playmaking skill set. It's All-Star weekend, but the fact Patton is a sole distributor and dribbler for the world team is definitely going to boost his confidence. The player who had the highest odds to win a Rising Stars MVP was Raptors star guard Ty Wallace, but he started off to a very slow start and never really got going, causing a lot of fans to be disappointed as they lost a lot of money on their parlays. The guy who stepped in relief of Ty Wallace was Spurs point guard Jalen Anthony Thompson. Going into the draft, JT was mainly looked at as a scorer, but his playmaking skills with Wembanyama has been eye-popping. Thompson's defense has improved mightily since his NBA debut, but he's still a raw prospect on that side of the floor, as it was proven when Kyron put up 16 points on his head in just the first quarter to have the world squad only down 5 in a 82-77 high-scoring first half. After a slow start from the OKC Big 3, it was clear the young core wanted to make a message known that the Thunder were here and ready to take names in the Western Conference. While Adonis obviously wanted to win Rising Stars MVP as he was giving his 110% on the court against his peers, likely to prove to the Thunder that he deserves that starting spot over someone like Lou Dort or even his rookie teammate True Richmond. Even with Adonis showing off some unbelievable dunking ability, the World Squad was still not going away even though they were heavy underdogs. The Big 4 of the World Squad was showing off that they were some of the best young stars in the entire league. With 5 minutes left in the game, the World Squad had all the momentum on their side after Javon Ayuk showed off his crazy jumping ability even after a nagging knee injury that he suffered. But Adonis and company were not going to get embarrassed on national television without a fight. With the clock counting down, JT calls for the pick and roll and he found Holmgren wide open, but Chet would miss the easy layup. He got hit hard, but that's still an easy basket for a guy his size. Up by 3 with barely any time left in this thriller of a game, Kyron Matthews has been on fire all night, goes for the ISO and drains the insanely difficult shot right over a good defender in Richmond. In the clutch, the USA squad did not go down without a fight as Richmond hits a 3 after Kyron drained a 3 in his face. And after Kyron splits the 2 free throws, the USA squad goes down the court and is unable to make a miracle comeback, and the world team makes a huge upset win. The NBA landscape is buzzing about the performance from Darnell Patton and Kyron Matthews from tonight. The USA squad saw a pretty evenly split team performance, with Adonis leading the way in almost every category, surprisingly playing 37 minutes. He probably told the coaches to keep him in the game so he could win MVP. Richmond, Chet, and JT also had very good performances for USA, but it was not enough to get the win. Kyron Matthews leads the way with 46 points, the 4th most in All-Star game history. Darnell Patton had a prime Westbrook stat line while shooting on an amazing efficiency. And your Rising Stars game MVP will go to Kyron Matthews. Darnell Patton was close, but Kyren nearly scoring 50 and leading the world team to a victory made him the clear winner of the Rising Stars MVP. In this year's 1v1 tournament, the best rookies from this year's draft class will be facing off. While one rookie is put in by the fans voted, and surprisingly, they go with Tragic Bronson, the rookie for Detroit who has been playing under 15 minutes a game. Now, these players aren't superstars like LeBron or Steph Curry, but these are young stars given a chance to boost their popularity and potentially become a household name. The winner of the 1v1 tournament will win a prize of $500,000, while second place gets a prize of $100,000. All games are played to 11 and are 1s and 2s, and the bracket is shown on the screen. And with all that being said, it's time for the one-on-one tournament. The Maverick Star center Javon Ayuk has recently recovered from his knee injury and is now going up against Detroit playmaker Tragic Bronson. Javon unsurprisingly dominated this game with a massive size advantage, standing at around 6 inches taller than Tragic Bronson. The rarely utilized rookie for the Pistons actually started the game off hot, taking an early 4-2 lead over Ayuk. Bronson has shown some flashes, but just like in the regular season, Tragic did not get an opportunity to take advantage as Ayuk was simply blocking almost every shot he put up. Ayuk did not choke in the first round of the rookie 1v1 tournament, dominating his peer with a triple-double performance in a somewhat embarrassing end to the game as Bronson blew a decent-sized lead over the number 1 seed in this year's bracket. Javon Ayuk will advance to play the winner of the Rick Person vs. Ty Wallace matchup. Now for the 3 seed versus 6 seed, we have the Spurs star shot creator Jalen Anthony Thompson going against the microwave scorer for OKC, True Richmond. Richmond recently got charged for reckless driving, but after serving a suspension, he has been averaging 15 points a game on 46% field goal shooting in the 5 games leading up to the All-Star break. JAT is the clear favorite to win, but don't sleep on Richmond as he's a dangerous scorer, similar to J.R. Smith. True Richmond showed off that deadly scoring early as he took a quick lead over the Spurs point guard. It was clear Jalen had the fans on his side, but he was still having problems putting away True Richmond. The game was going back and forth until the very end. With $500K on the line, JAT seemed to be getting nervous as he missed some easy shots, while Richmond looked like he had nothing to lose against a heavy favorite. True Richmond was not fazed by Jalen's big plays, and the Rising Star scorer gets past the 7th overall pick in a shocking upset. Richmond's crazy highlight play to call game will definitely make some buzz in the media and get some fans. Both players had a similar stat line, but the difference maker was JAT's turnovers and lack of threes falling for him. The 4 versus 5 seed saw 2 rising rookies with newly found success in the league. It was hard to pick who would win, but the 4th overall pick Rick Person seemed to be the favorite as he definitely had the size advantage. But Rick was ice cold to start the game, shooting 1 for 8 while being down 4-1 versus Ty Wallace. The Raptors star scorer has been amazing at the ISO game this year, and it proved to work wonders for him in the 1v1 tournament, as the height difference didn't seem to matter at all as Ty Wallace dominated Rick Person to a 11-3 victory. Without Halliburton dishing the ball off to him, Rick seemed lost out there. And now for the last first round matchup, the 2 seed Kyron Matthew goes up against the 7th seed Adonis Poe. The infamous 5th overall pick for OKC has slowed down ever since True Richmond's return from suspension, but he has still been much better than what he was in the first couple months of the season. Adonis actually started the game off hot, and he did look hungry for that $500K prize. Maybe Kyron just didn't feel the same motivation for the money prize since he had the 1st overall pick and had a huge signing bonus because he was giving Adonis easy looks. Even with that, it was still a close game, but Adonis kept taking the edge every time Kyron attempted a comeback. In the end, Adonis Poe somehow did the impossible and completed the biggest upset in the tournament. Just maybe this performance will finally get Adonis starter level minutes for OKC. To start the second round, we got Javon Ayuk versus Ty Wallace. Ty has proven that his playstyle is fit to win 1v1s and is capable of beating bigger opponents, but this isn't a normal height difference. Javon Ayuk has a solid 6 inches over Wallace. Coming off a scary knee injury from a couple months ago, Javon Ayuk shocked many to even play, let alone get back to full strength in such a short amount of time. But Ty Wallace was still keeping pace. Just because he was the underdog doesn't mean he was going to throw away a chance at $500,000. Wallace was even getting offensive rebounds over Ayuk, That putback actually gave Wallace the slight 1-point edge over the superstar big man. In the end, Ty Wallace, with a chance to advance to the final round, would go on to add another upset victory to his resume after draining an ice-cold 3 right in Javon Ayuk's face. Wallace is now just one win away from winning $500,000. For our last second round matchup, the Thunder rookie duo go up against each other to get a shot against Ty Wallace. This is definitely the most even matchup as there's really no favorite to win. Richmond has been better in the NBA so far, but let's not forget Adonis led college basketball in points per game last year. He is not a player to be taken lightly. The game had its moments with some friendly banter between the two teammates, and it was a very entertaining and fun game for the fans watching at home, but Richmond started the game off hot and never really looked back. Adonis had some nice plays, but he got dominated overall, and true Richmond put away his teammate quickly in a 11-6 game that saw Richmond hit nearly every shot. And now for the moment we've all been waiting for. The two wings from opposing conferences face off in the championship round of the 1v1 tournament. Both of these players have been red hot the entire tournament and now have a chance to not only win a prize of $500K, but also a major boost in fans. After a slow start to the game, true Richmond was visibly frustrated, which really hasn't been seen the entire time of the tourney. And he seemed to be nervous because he was just rushing shots and getting bad turnovers, while Ty Wallace seemed to be thriving under the pressure of the biggest stage. And with all the momentum on side, Ty Wallace ends up handily beating the red-hot True Richmond in an 11-7 victory to win himself $500,000 and hundreds of thousands, if not millions of fans. True Richmond doesn't get nothing though, as he will walk away with $100,000 of his own money, a great debut of the NBA's newly added 1v1 tournament. And maybe next year we'll see another amazing underdog run just like Ty Wallace. And now to look at the recap of the year, the most valuable player race is led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is having an amazing season with the Thunder even though they have so much talent. Also, there isn't really much surprise besides Darius Garland, who is having an amazing season of his own, averaging damn near 28 points a game with 10 assists. The Rookie of the Year race is also not very surprising as Javon Ayuk leads it even though he got injured, while Kyron Matthew, the number 1 pick, is number 2, JT number 3, Ty Wallace number 4, and Rick Person number 5, who has made a major boost ever since coming to Indiana. The 6th Man of the Year award is led by Chris Paul, who is having a great season off the bench for Golden State, and Darnell Patton, who has finally gotten some playing time ever since the end of January. For the DPOY race, it has been Giannis leading the way, which has been the way for multiple seasons now, while Victor Wembanyama is also in the running, and Jaren Jackson Jr., who won it last year. For most improved player, LaMelo is leading the way easily, while players like Scoot Henderson and Kuminga are up there too, who has a major bounce back season. For the newly added Kia Clutch player, it is Cade Cunningham, and 3 Phoenix Suns in the race. Also, LaMelo is also in the race as well. Cade has been a bright spot for a struggling Detroit team as he has had many clutch shots over the season. And that will be it, folks. Thank you for watching. That is the end of the video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. If you want to make a player, join the Discord. It will be for next season, not for this up and coming draft class, but for next year. So you can still make a player though, and for the other series, the Madden series, you can make a player. So if you want to do that, join the Discord, link in the description, and I will see y'all guys next time. Peace.